oh, can you make me some tea or something? And he'd be like, sure, just now. And I'm like, sitting around waiting, I'm like half hour, because I'm like, where's my tea? And he said, I told you I was going to make it just now, which means like probably never.
Never.
In my book, in my Southern California girl book, I'm like, that means like, come on, just now, like, let's go, right?
That's it.
But
Make
no,
it snappy.
they repeat words a lot, so it's like, bye bye, I'll see you, bye bye, just now, now, right.
Ah,
I don't know.
all right. Got it. Bloody,
I love it.
bloody,
No, South Africa's beautiful.
bloody weirdos. Um, great. Great. You can go up next, buddy.
All right, thank you very much, Chano.
Thanks, man.
Hello, Didi.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
So let me just dash into my question.
Okay.
So I've listened to you talk a couple of hours over and over and over, and then one of the things that is intriguing me has to be the amount of burn of the tokens that is actually possible. This is good, when you consider demand and supply in terms of pushing the price up. But when you look critically towards things like volume, since you have lots of projects down the roadmap, don't you think you might end up burning too much of your token to actually, you know, carry out some of the utilities you have in view? Or
Yes.
would we have a similar issue with Avex where a new token is created and we have to now switch? So have you thought about that?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. And I have been struggling with it. The first one I made 25 billion and it was a lot. And so I was thinking about, well, the possibilities would be is if you look at the list, and it's obviously not going to happen, but if all the big wallets, like the 100 million ends up being a burn, and then like some of the other ones end up being a burn, the probability and likelihood of that is very low. But if it did, like the worst case scenario would be like that we burned 40%, the upper 40% of it, which would be like 350 million. And I believe that even with 350 million burnt, it would be okay because we have this sort of like Hail Mary with the buyback feature built into the taxes. And so there's 2% that's going to be allocated for a buyback feature. And if it's not enough to buy back and put it into the future, I can take some out of the future. Yes, I am a little bit worried about it. And I toggled with the fact, like, I'm like, could I just do, instead of a burn, could I like move it and like lock it to like the end of like 420 days? I'm still toggling that idea, but the people that I've spoken with, I just sort of like threw it around with a couple of friends of mine, and they're like, this is your game, and your game is earn or burn. If you don't burn them, then it won't happen. So what's really going to happen? If you get to the nitty gritty of it, 2.5 billion is a ton of tokens. Okay. It's just like, it's way more than Bitcoin. It's like, it's a lot, right? So what's going to happen if we burn 350 million of them, or what have you, 400 million? To be honest with you, I think that the price is just going to go up a little bit with the scarcity aspect of it. So I don't think that it's going to be a problem. I think that the game is, the way that it is designed has enough features built into it to sort of protect us from that hurting us, if that makes sense, from not having enough tokens. Like the maximum burn that it could possibly be is like 400 million. And I think even with 400 million left, that still leaves us with like 2.1 billion, like, in all of like supply. I think we're okay. If that answers your question.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I think that's the truth because I've seen projects that do not have, they don't have max burn, so they keep burning. And there was this project a couple of years back. They needed to, go into centralized exchanges, and then they couldn't put up enough volume to get listed. So it's just one of those things I really think about and I consider.
That's
So I'm
really
glad you guys.
interesting. Yeah. That's really interesting. I'm glad you brought that up because I think instead of like the buybacks, I might just like buy back and then just hold it for the future, because if we were going to get listed on a centralized exchange, I will tell you right now that they don't accept taxes. So if we got listed on Binance or Coinbase or something like fancy like that, that the taxes would have to change. So we'd have to play the game long enough in order to have enough saved in the future to be able to do that. So it's a great question. Really great question. But I think that if we play it for the 420 days, yeah, I think we'll be okay, because the risk is only the burning of 400 million max. So good question.
Right,
oh, and I will tell you this. Oh, so with 2.1 billion, I can guarantee that that's enough, because my friends, I have a good friend of mine who's like the I call him the volume king. He inspired me to create this project with all of his. He was a day trader in the stocks, and he his son is an MIT grad. He's like a super brainiac. He was the total like developer of True Finance. They're now traded on. They went from Bitfinex to Binance, and now they're actually on Coinbase, and they only have 1 billion in their supply. So I think, and he was the one that was like, 25 billion, what are you doing? That's too much. So he made me think about it, and I'm like, okay, and he's like, don't do that. You'll never go to $1, blah, blah, blah. So if I burn, all of it, his son's token went to $1 when it went on Coinbase. It went to like $1.10 was their all-time high. And so if we have 2 billion and they have 1 billion, we could hit 50 cents easy.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. That's just how I think. I'm like,
that's
the goal's high, right?
Yeah, always.
Great question. That's a good question. That should be a contender for the prize.
Yeah, Greg's always ripping out the good questions. He does his research, so thanks, Greg. These types of people keep me in check. They keep me on the A game because. Yeah, awesome. All right, Elmania.
I was actually impressed. I didn't think that people were going to ask such good questions in the AMAs. I was like, oh yeah, I'll probably get the same ones. Like, I see a lot of the same questions in the socials. Like how do I add the token or whatever. So I figured like maybe, I don't know, but like so thought provoking. Like I don't know. The questions are good.
There's also some good suggestions that come out of it as well, and I find that can really help drive the project. So yeah, it's always helpful, grateful for the people that we have, and yeah, getting good questions. I really appreciate all of that.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, we'll keep going. Elmania, did you have a question? I did unmute you, so. Elmania?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, mate.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, Didi.
Hi.
Good evening.
Good evening. Afternoon.
Yeah. So I want to say, first of all, I want to say great project. Like, I actually love your vibe. I last time you did an AMA with us, I was telling Twisted Brainiac that your vibe alone can push your project out of Earth, then community and the rest can now take it out of space and to down to the moon, So I truly love your vibe. And despite the fact that something bad might have happened, maybe you got burned and then something bad might have happened to your project before. We don't want to focus on the past. We want to focus on the future. So actually, my question is actually like, to you, what's the most favorite part of a project that actually gives you hyped up, that actually makes you want to move forward, like you want to go ahead with this project, like it keeps burning up in you? That's my question.
Oh my gosh, what a fun question. I love it. First of all, I don't know if you can see that I was pointing at the good vibes. I can't turn it on because you can't see it, but I have a good vibes neon light right there. So that's kind of my motto. But so my favorite part, oh my gosh, I there's been a couple of favorite parts. I'm gonna say my favorite part was when we went parabolic in the last like 20 minutes of the fair launch on Avalanche, and the number, someone just bought like, 100 AVAX, someone just bought 50 AVAX, somebody like that like pump. It's like the exciting final minutes of like, a sporting against a soccer game or, a football game or whatever. Like, it's just like the last couple seconds was just so exciting. So for me, like, the last couple seconds of the fair launch when it's really going and the FOMO's in, because I've FOMO'd into so many projects, I'm not gonna lie. Like I fall prey to the hype and like, the excitement, and to me that was the most fun. I did feel like a very amazing sense of relief and accomplishment after days of testing and developing and trying to work with this person and that person and getting through all of the Solidity code and the remix and the Web3 and learning that and testing it and seeing the taxes actually work. That was another huge favorite part of mine, when I pressed the button and it was live and we were on the main net and no longer on test net. And I knew that I had what the product that I had. I knew what I had developed. I knew what I had created was amazing. And I was just so excited to share with you. So everybody, that like this amazing product that I wasn't sure that could get better. At Toyota, we had the saying, no best, only better. And I truly subscribe to that philosophy, and there was no best, only better, and this is so much better than last time. So I was really excited to share with you guys, the anti-bot features and all that stuff that I had baked in. So that was another really like highlight and fun moment for me. But I would say, and I like just talking to you guys. I was really excited about the AMAs. I love getting on here, and like a lot of people, it's a little, nerve-wracking for sure to like get on video and project your image out to the world and everything like that, and you never know, what could go wrong on live, TV or whatever. But to me, I think it's fun. I love meeting you guys, and like our chief whale watcher was just saying, it's like if oh my gosh, I totally just lost my train of thought. If you called you a chief whale watcher, I was like, wait. Oh, I don't know. I totally just lost it. It's somewhere in the universe. But what did you just say? Okay. Anyway, sorry, I totally lost my train of thought, you guys. I'll think of it in 1 minute. But yeah, I don't know. It's just the whole thing is so fun. And so coming on here and just being able to like share all of this with you guys is it's fun. It's something that I definitely like enjoy and like look forward to. And like I was kind of even asking I saw him on here, but he left, our chief marketer, Karan. But I asked him if it was going to be, if it was going to be, a problem like coming on or whatever. And like, is it going to be like an ongoing thing? Like, am I going to be able to come back and do these AMAs anymore? And he's like, well, some of them is just like before launch. And I was like, I actually got kind of sad because I really like doing these and I want to do them again in the future and check back up, in the communities and come back and like, make visits. And I I like these a lot too. I just love this and engaging with the community. I'm always online. I'm really approachable. You guys can ask. If you don't get your question answered now, you can ask it pretty much anytime. And yeah, and nothing's too stupid to ask me. Trust me. Like, I didn't know. You guys, the first time I got on DeFi, I literally watched videos like 7 hours. I moved it through something that I didn't need to, overthrew, something else. And it's not hard, and not everybody's an expert right at the beginning. And if it's not me, somebody else will just totally help walk you through it. So no question is too dumb, and nobody needs. Beginners are not only welcome, they're encouraged. So, but yeah, I love teaching. That's another fun aspect. Can I just say I like it all? I've really never. My sister said something to me the other day. She goes, "Laura, I've never seen you." It's my name. I'm doxxed, so you guys all know. Anyway, I've never seen you so happy in your life. And I'm like, you know what? It's taken me a long time, but I finally have found something to do that I truly love. I get up in the morning and I'm like, I get to do this. I've always heard of people that say that they're that enthusiastic about their jobs. They get up and they're like, yeah, I get to do this. I'm like, I really finally have found that. I mean, accounting's kind of hard to be that bad. Getting accounting. I mean, am I so glad that I have that skill and that I have that sort of ace up my sleeve? Oh my gosh, it's the most bestest thing ever to be able to read financial statements and that kind of thing, and to bring that kind of expertise to this project. It's almost essential. If you don't know this and you own any kind of business in your life, if you don't know accounting, you got to learn it. But it's not something that you're going to wake up and be like, yeah, I get to do debits and credits every day. But this I do. That's how I am. I feel like, yeah, I get to be the founder of Sifu Inu today.
I think, yeah, it's funny you say that. We had an AMA last night with another project here, and he was just as passionate as what you were, and he was just
I love
it. He worked for a big corps like IBM, and he was a tester for them, and he left his job to do full-time, his project full-time. And he said, it's the cliche of work 9 to 5 in a normal job, or if you work doing something you love, it doesn't feel like work a day in your life.
Exactly.
And he was so bubbly. He was just like you. He's like, I can work 20 hours a day and I still wake up and I'm ready to go and I'm so pumped, And I thought, shit, good on you, man. That's what you want. That's what you want, right? And I'm really happy to hear you say that as well. It gives me hope for the time that I can transition to full-time crypto and do something exactly like what you're doing. So yeah, good stuff. Happy to hear that.
Yes, and that's how it feels.
And
That was such a fun question. Thank you.
Yeah, I actually love the fact that you love teaching, and it's awesome, especially when you teach, you'll be able to reach that person's. And there's one thing I know: when you teach, you're also training yourself. You're also giving yourself that vibe that yes, you could do this. I can do this, and it's lovely. Thank you so much, Didi.
Oh, thank
It's
you
awesome.
so much. Thank you.
Happy having you.
Cheers, Onania. Good stuff.
You're so sweet. Thank you.
Yeah, good guy. All right, Yellow Lip. You can go up next, mate.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity, Mr. Richard. I will say this is a wonderful project because on your smile alone, you're gonna see that the project is gonna be smiling wherever it's gonna be. Because you don't see most owners of a project smiling this way because their projects are gonna be giving them some difficulties one way or the other. But we see your project giving you a good smile and is making you happy. Full day, you're waking up and you're seeing your project, you're gonna be smiling every day. So my question for you is, how do you want to generate revenue for you and your and how will it be beneficial for you and your investors? And what market structure do you have in place that will attract investors to invest in your project and give them more confidence that this project is gonna move forward and is gonna be giving them some mind that they're not gonna lose the money? That's my question.
Good question. So right now we have the way that we're generating sort of revenue and tokens. So we don't have to sell some of our bags. We're taking out of the taxes a certain percentage to run the business, to run sort of the token, all of the development, and to pay just sort of general business expenses, as well as all the people like in the teams, and I mean all the people in the socials and all of those things. So 20% as how I plan to keep the investors with the BNB and to pay you guys back, and that's basically what we have right now. Is where revenue is going to be earned, a profit sharing, airdrop will be given to everybody on a weekly basis randomly, and that's another thing I haven't really emphasized that probably enough. The fact that these a lot of the other projects that sort of inspired me, one of the problems is that they weren't randomized airdrops. The fact that these are really going to be randomized, I don't know when I'm going to take the snapshot for the next daily earns and burns. I'm not telling people that. So you want to be in it. Sure, take profits, but buy back in as soon as you can, because a lot of these airdrops, I mean, especially the weekly, the BNB profit sharing airdrop, that one is going to be, I mean, for sure the most randomized. Like I can do it anytime. I'm doing it my time. I worked it out this morning. I think it's 7 a.m. UTC time, but I'm +8. So it's like 11:59, and we're on daylight savings, so it's a whole other thing. But it's like midnight Saturday night. My time is basically what it is, and I'm -8 UTC, -7 right now. I guess we're -7 right now. Anyway, so we just had daylight savings time, and it totally messed me up for a minute there. But yeah, so basically how we're planning on doing it is a profit sharing. And then I talked about, future use of possibly doing lending and doing some kind of banking. I'm pretty interested in historical banking and lending platforms, and that kind of sort of way to, I mean, look at the banks, you guys. The banks, who's the richest people in the world? Who's the most successful? The banks, right? They're control of everything pretty much. So why not do that? I mean, I thought about gambling and doing maybe a gambling platform and that kind of thing to add utility going forward. But I'm leaning more towards looking at doing something on the lending and the banking kind of side of things, because I think that there's always a need for that. And I don't know, BlockFi just got sort of their wrist slapped by the SEC. So I don't know. I have to just look into sort of the legalities of it. And if gambling is more legal, I'm a huge poker player. I've been playing poker for over 20 years, and it's just for fun, obviously. So some sort of poker, crypto poker would be really fun for me. I mean, back in the day, it's so funny. We always see on the poker websites, we see these, because I don't know I know the rest of the world, it's not the case. It's kind of like Binance, but poker is illegal in the United States. So people play with Bitcoin right now. I mean, it's the craziest thing. But back in the day, in 2010 or 2000, maybe 2011, you'd see this list of winnings. First place would be $250,000, and go down or whatever, and 20th place to 30th place would be 400 Bitcoin or something. It's it was worth 50 cents at the time. If any of those people kept those Bitcoins, but I'm open to doing a poker website. If it's it would have to be probably in another country. So I don't know, but I'm open to that as well. Hopefully that answered your question.
I did.
Yeah, thank you.
Yellow lip, you okay?
Oh, that answered my question, and I would love to invest in your project so I can get a smile the way you get a smile, man.
Well, if you invest in my project, My smile's contagious. You will have it too, especially when you get your airdrops. You'll be like, oh my gosh, I really think that too, you guys. And I know, I say it or whatever, but I saw it in these DAOs and these high APYs, and like people were like, when is the airdrop? When is the airdrop? People got so excited off these airdrops. And I have this like literally like built into my project. Like not everybody has this capability. Like I have this multi-sender like aspect like baked in with the all the coding and stuff like that. And like for people to get airdrops like potentially like, upwards of 8 times maximum per week, like you just be like, how much did I get today? How much did I get today? I missed earn and burn. Like what was it? Oh, was it earn? Oh what? I got like 50,000 Sifu. Yay! I just think I don't know. I feel like the smile is going to be contagious when people are earning and and the price is going up and because of burns and I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's my good vibes is telling me to stay with that. Again, there we go.
I was just checking the Sifu Inu logo to see if it had a big smile on its face.
I'm just so happy. I'm like happy to be here. I'm just happy that it's done. I'm so happy to bring this to you guys because I'm happy to be on the Binance Smart Chain where everybody can really use it, the whole rest of the world. I guess I didn't realize one of the problems with Americans is we get very sort of like on our own kind of island thing. And we think like, we forget a lot about, and everybody kind of does this, you get centralized in your neighborhood or whatever, your city or, your social groups or whatever. But when I did these AMAs the first time, I realized, it's going to sound cliche, but like there's a whole world out there, and like I really don't think that when I developed it the first time, I considered that fact enough. And so adding it to the Binance Smart Chain where literally the rest of the world is really, I've included them in this one so much more. And it makes me, I don't know, it makes me happy. It makes me smile. So
that's so good. So good. Thanks, Yellow Lip. All right, next up, we'll get Kryptonian. Maybe we'll get last question from Kryptonian.
Yeah, thanks, Donald. Hello, Didi. I love your vibes as usual.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I've seen you. I think I've seen you.
Yeah. So I was on Pink Cell AMA, and you said you'll be giving out rewards on both the BNB and the BSC.
Correct.
Doesn't that potentially harm your token both on the short and long term because of the heavy rewards?
No, because I have it baked in. So the BNB rewards only and first of all, let me just say everything's subject to change. So if something's wrong and like it's hurting the project, because I manage the treasury, like you have to go in there every day, and that's what's so good about the earns and burns is you can go in there every day and make adjustments. If the price is tanking because we hit the 100 million token and I airdrop it, I probably won't airdrop it out at once. I'm going to put preventative measures in because I know how to like do that. But let's just say something happens where a mistake is made or whatever, and like I airdrop too many at once and the price like tanks or whatever. I have like a buyback and burn potential, so I could buy back and lock up the tokens, or buy back and just put them in another wallet. So I could buy back the tokens to sort of like salvage it out and like salvage the price and like bring it back up. So I've pretty much put in all of the preventative measures that could hurt anything where the project could be like decimated or anything like that. The biggest one is the anti-bot thing, to be honest with you, because that is really no control over that. But having that feature where I can limit sales, I can limit the amount, and I can limit the time in between, not sales, buys. I think that it could really, really help it. So no, I don't think so. I don't think like, and the other question that I got asked was about this, supply, like burning too much of the supply. And if I burnt too much of the supply, it's the only maximum that could be burnt is like 400 million, and I still think that 2.1 million will be enough to carry on. So I haven't put enough at risk for it to be an issue, if that makes sense. There's not enough at risk. So, and all of the Airbnb is earned from the taxes.
Yeah.
So that's all from taxes. So that's all one thing. So that's not going to hurt the project at any level at all, except maybe if, you know, buybacks and burns. But if the airdrop's getting too heavy and we need bigger buyback, I will shift in between those to do what's best for the project. But good question.
Okay, great. Just about to ask that, but you already answered. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Awesome. All right. Yeah, guys, we've had some really good questions today. And for that reason, I'm going to pop in an extra prize sponsored by Whale Watchers for someone else in this. So I appreciate that. Didi, you know, I really enjoy talking to you. Like everybody in the community absolutely loves you. I think no matter where you go and what you do, you're going to succeed and very, very well. You know, I know Sifu Inu is your baby, but I don't think it's going to stop here. I think we'll see you a lot more in this space, and it's great to have someone like you. But yeah, again, pleasure. Thank you very much for choosing Whale Watchers and hosting this AMA. But I'll let you finish off with some final things, if you like, final words.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been so fun. The community, your community is so great and so understanding and so smart. You guys are smarter than like some of the other AMAs. No, seriously. I mean, you guys ask really good questions, and I just want to say thanks for being here, and thanks for supporting, and thanks for actually like taking the time. Like a lot of people